There's a war happening inside your head, and you're losing. Not to the world, not to circumstances, not to the obstacles everyone can see. To your own thoughts. The endless loops, the what-ifs, the replaying of conversations that already happened and rehearsing of ones that never will. The analyzing, dissecting, spiraling until the simplest decision feels like defusing a bomb. You're not thinking your way to clarity. You're thinking your way to exhaustion. And the mind that was supposed to be your greatest tool has become a cage you can't seem to escape. Let me ask you something. How many opportunities have you missed because you were still thinking about it? How many conversations have you replayed so many times that the original meaning got lost? How many times have you known what you should do, felt it in your gut, but talked yourself out of it because your mind demanded more certainty? If those questions hit something, you already know the cost. Overthinking hasn't protected you, it's paralyzed you. Here's the trap nobody explains. Your brain is wired to solve problems. That's its job. That's what kept your ancestors alive, analyzing threats, predicting dangers, planning escape routes. But that same wiring becomes a curse when there's no tiger chasing you. Because your brain doesn't know the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. It treats the email you haven't sent the same way it treats a predator in the bushes. It assigns danger to uncertainty and then demands you resolve it before taking action. But life doesn't work that way. Certainty is a myth, and waiting for it is just fear dressed up as wisdom. Think about the last decision that kept you up at night. The job offer, the relationship question, the boundary you needed to set, the move you knew you should make but couldn't pull the trigger on. How much of that thinking was actually productive? How much was just the same loop? Spinning, repeating, getting nowhere. Most overthinking isn't problem solving, it's problem creating. It takes something simple and complicates it. Takes something clear and clouds it. Takes something you could have resolved in minutes and stretches it into weeks of mental torture. Your mind convinced you it was helping. It wasn't. It was stalling and calling it analysis. Soren Kierkegaard understood this trap centuries ago. He wrote, "Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards." Read that again. You cannot think your way into the future. You can only move into it. And movement, imperfect, uncertain, uncomfortable movement, is the only thing that breaks the loop. Your mind wants to figure it all out first. But life doesn't give you the answers before you act. It gives you the answers through action. You learn by doing, by failing, by choosing and then adjusting, not by analyzing every possible outcome until you're too exhausted to choose at all. I'm not saying thinking is the enemy. Reflection matters. Strategy matters. Considering consequences before you leap matters. But there's a line. On one side is productive thinking, thinking that leads somewhere, that clarifies, that ends with a decision. On the other side is compulsive thinking, thinking that loops, that drains, that never lands because landing feels too risky. Most men live on the wrong side of that line. They mistake motion for progress, mental motion, endless churning that never translates into real-world movement. And they wonder why they feel stuck despite how hard their mind is working. The Buddha called this monkey mind, the restless, jumping, never settling quality of an untrained mind. It swings from branch to branch, never resting, never still. But here's what he also taught. You are not your thoughts. You're the awareness behind them, the space in which they arise, the witness who can observe the loop without being consumed by it. That distinction changes everything. Because if you are the thinker, you're trapped. But if you're the one watching the thinker, you have a choice. You can step back, breathe, recognize the loop for what it is, and choose to act anyway, not because you figured it all out, but because you refuse to let your mind hold your life hostage any longer. So what do? You set a limit. Give the decision a deadline, not infinite time to spiral, a boundary. Think about it for an hour, a day, then decide. You trust your gut. That first instinct you felt before your mind started arguing, that's usually the answer. Your body knows things your brain tries to talk you out of. You act before you're ready. Because readiness is an illusion. You'll never feel fully prepared. Certainty doesn't exist, and waiting for it is just another way of staying stuck. Here's what I want you to understand. The clarity you're waiting for won't come from more thinking. It comes from action, from stepping forward without the full picture, from choosing before you're certain, from trusting that you can handle what comes even if it's not what you planned. Your mind will tell you that's reckless. It's not. It's courage. You've spent years trapped in loops, analyzing instead of acting, rehearsing instead of risking, waiting for a certainty that never arrives while life kept moving without you. That ends when you decide it ends, not when your mind gives you permission. It never will. Stop waiting for the perfect thought that finally unlocks everything. It doesn't exist. What exists is this moment, this choice, this breath. And the only way out of your head is through your feet. One step, one decision, one act of faith in yourself despite the noise. Your mind was meant to be a tool. Somewhere along the way, it became a tyrant. It's time to take back the throne, not by winning the argument inside your head, by walking away from it, and finally, moving.